And we're live. Welcome back to This is Dunder Moose. I'm your host. This is Dunder Moose. And man, what a show we got today. I got it. You got it. Everybody that wasn't there has the FOMO about ArneCon3. But don't you worry. Don't you fret. I'm going to bring you a little taste. Maybe inspire you to come next year. Who knows? We've got Sandy Petersen, Sandy of Cthulhu. I've been lighting up the comment section with links you can follow him on. We've got Griffith Morgan, filmmaker, con producer.
Just con works. Con.
Yeah, ex-con, pro-con, soon-to-be con, another game creator. We got so McCrease could not be here with us, but he said that Griff can speak for him. Mm-hmm. And we got folks that came and took part. Matt Tapp and Griff actually have a Kickstarter going on right now, and if you look down in the description, you'll see the link for that. The Portal to Adventure. Let me just throw that up right there. So looks like we got 8 days to go, guys. So you are running out of time if you want to get in on this. And we got people that were there. We got Lord Matteus. You guys haven't seen him on this channel since Oriental Adventures. And we got my bro, Dungeoneer, here. So we got folks that put it on, folks that were the guests, and folks that just attended to tell us how did it go. So with that being said, Griff, you want to start us off, man? How was ArneCon3 this year?
Griff?
Moving right along. Sandy, was this your first ArneCon?
This was my first ArneCon. I had no idea there was an ArneCon until I got contacted earlier this year, and they said, hey, guess what? There's a Dave Arneson con. Come to it. And I said, I remember Dave. I knew him. We'd hang out fairly frequently at Gen Con.
Right on.
And so it was cool to have the co-designer of D&D have his own con. So I agreed to show up. My usual fee is they must fly my wife out too. That way she gets to walk around some interesting town while I spend the entire weekend in a windowless room with a bunch of nerds. So it's cool.
Sounds like she's getting a good deal out of this as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I came. I ran my game. Not my game. Yeah, we ran Call of Cthulhu 3 times. I was in a panel with Ken St. Andre and others, who, of course, I've known Ken St. Andre for so long. It's probably longer than many of us have been alive, except not me. And we had a great con.
Right on, man.
So yeah, I thought it was tiny. I didn't know how big it was going to be. It was minuscule. That's not bad for a convention for the attendees.
So right? Yeah, that's one of my first questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I will go around, but what would you say are the benefits of a small con over larger ones?
I know everyone, or at least if I don't know them, I have a chance to know them, and I recognize them going around. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like when I'm at Gen Con, you know, when I see someone, it's rare that I see someone I know unless I go to their booth, you know, and say, hey, you know, Mike Pondsmith or for example, whoever it is, right? But at this con, after the first day, we had dinners and stuff. Then I know everyone. I know who I want to hang out with. I know who I don't want to hang out with. I know who I can have a good chat with, and it was very, very handy. There's a convention I go to in Germany called Kraken, which is comparable in size to ArneCon. I've been going to that thing for like a decade or more. And so I just know everyone there. And new people show up and they're like, oh, there's new people, you know, from the Ukraine or from Finland. It's Germany, so everyone's from all over the European continent. But that's always interesting. They all speak English, so yeah, so that's like one of my favorite cons. Not least because it's mostly devoted to games I did, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I was surprised by how much Call of Cthulhu sentiment there was at ArneCon. I thought it would be more devoted to old D&D stuff, but it was not. It was lots of other things. So
right on, man.
Axe and anyway.
Okay, so let's go on to Griff. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you. I'm having tech issues. I should have been here earlier to do tech tests and stuff.
No worries, man.
You can hear me fine, though?
I can. You sound good. So the question was, what are the benefits of a smaller con versus a larger one? And what would you say makes ArneCon ArneCon?
You know, it's just weird when you're running a convention. See, we invited Sandy. I was all excited. We're going to have Sandy Petersen there. It's going to be awesome. Well, I was running around. I never really got to sit with Sandy and have a conversation. You know, I talked to your wife more than I talked to you, Sandy. Like, I actually sat and spoke to your wife for a couple minutes.
Good. You scheduled for 6 different events. There's at 4 hours an event. That's like 24 hours of straight gaming for me.
I did 7 events. I was busy.
Yeah. So yeah, the guys with the shoulder under the load really don't have the same experience of being at the con with everyone as folks that are just coming to enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running it, like Chris was at the desk running it the whole time. He doesn't get to really enjoy it. We're trying to get more volunteers that can help with things like, you know, just using the POS system and stuff like that. We need people that can like handle everything that comes up. And so if anybody's out there that wants to volunteer at ArneCon,
right on
at the desk.
Judd says Sandy was in the gaming mines.
Yeah, he was in the gaming mines. I was in the gaming mines, and Chris was up at the front desk in the front desk mines. So anyway, where I was going to go with that is just, we make the space, we provide the place for people to do it, and it's really up to the gamers to tell us, what was the convention like? What did you think?
Yeah.
What was fun, you know?
So, but from your point of view, either running games or running the con, a small con, do you get like more feedback, or do you get a better quality, or is it just different, the kind of stuff than you get when you go to the huge ones?
The big ones are exciting, you know?
I'm going to go with superior in many ways for the small.
Okay. Tell me more about
Let's just be direct.
There's probably a few things I can think of that are better in the big one, like more access to high-end food.
We had a pretty nice restaurant, though, at ours. I mean, ArneCon itself, the restaurant wasn't too bad.
Yes, and you had a pretty good Indian and Chinese place next door.
Right. Yeah, right behind it. The Indian food was, I heard, pretty good. You went there.
I did. I went there twice.
I mean, if X is to be believed, I don't know how much we can trust Sandy's culinary tastes. Mr. I ate an isopod.
Well, because I've eaten an isopod, the full range of food from steakhouse in Dallas, which is the best steakhouse I've ever seen, down to isopod. So I alone understand.
Right.
You have no idea how long to go.
You have the most cultured palate we've ever had on This Is Dunder.
I mean, would you argue that isopod is highly underrated?
No. Almost anyone who hasn't eaten an isopod overrates it by definition.
What about tentacle?
And remember, you can't actually eat the isopod. It exits your body the way it came in.
Dude,
it goes in your brain.
I'm just thinking you were so lucky. You were so lucky that you rolled head up.
The isopods have a gravity sense. They can tell which way is up. Not every animal has that. We have a pretty good balance because we teeter on 2 legs. But a lot of animals, don't really know which way is up. But isopods do. They always crawl up.
Huh. I mean, like in OD&D and AD&D, there's certain creatures which can swallow you, right? Like, I wonder if there's a spell in that for you wizard players who are trying to create your own spells. You could have isopod unswallow ability or something.
The bigger concern is the ones you swallow and exactly how you swallow them. Because if the isopods are always swimming up, you got to be careful where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Well, the airbow they're just pill bugs, right? You got them in your garden.
Yeah.
When you pick it up, it rolls into a ball, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super easy to swallow.
Okay, now when you say super easy, you mean mechanically, right? Not psychologically.
Yes. Mechanically, it's easy to swallow. It's like eating a lentil, you know.
Well, that's why they call it a pill bug, right?
But are these the little isopods, or are we talking about a big sort of prehistoric
I imagine those
isopod?
things you would not be able to swallow whole. But the fact that the little ones store ammonia in their body makes me uninterested in trying the big ones.
How did this affect your sanity score?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't go lower than 0, right? So,
Right.
Well,
okay, so
I mean,
did all you guys read my isopod thing?
Oh yeah.
Dude, I wish I could forget it. It has haunted me since I read it the first
I
time.
was gonna recount it, but I guess you've all heard it. So
You've posted it twice now, and
the
like
big ones you need chopsticks.
Well, you know, I've noticed that some of the big accounts repost things, so I do too.
yeah, no, it's good.
My numbers keep growing to followers, which is kind of gratifying.
I've never heard another story like it, so it's worth retelling. But just in case,
well, here's one kind of like it. So you know about velvet ants.
Velvet ants?
You don't know about who knows about velvet ants? Raise a paw.
It's sort of like velvet pants.
Okay,
only with
so
the
a
P.
velvet ant is it's about about the size of one of your finger joints. Okay, and it looks like an ant covered in fur, like velvet. It's not an ant. It's a wingless wasp. Okay, they're more common in desert environments. Basically, what they want. So, and they have a sting like a pretty mean wasp. They're very colorful. They're becoming white and yellow and red, and they've like way more potent than an ant sting. Okay, this is like being stung by a mad hornet. So, but it looks like this cute fuzzy thing. Whoa!
I'm sorry, I was going to try and put Matt up. He was showing a picture of the velvet ant.
Okay, I sure go for it. See, they're adorable. Look at the size of the stinger on that one.
I like the color a lot.
They aren't all that color. There's lots of colors of them. That is one of the colors, though. Anyway, so I knew they were wasps because I studied insects. So we're out in the desert collecting them, and there's this numbnuts that doesn't know they're wasps. So he goes, "Oh, look!" And he goes and he picks it up with his fingers. And what would you do if you were a velvet ant, right? Mm-hmm. So he immediately flings it away from him as far as they could go. And the instructor or with says, "Gotcha, didn't it?" And he refused to admit he was that foolish. And he said, "It just doesn't take me long to look at it." So he was my hero. But the thing is, velvet ants, you have to actually pick them up to get stung or step on them because they aren't interested in stinging you. They want to find they're looking for bumblebee nests. They want to go in there and lay their eggs.
Okay.
By the way, if you ever see one that has wings, that's a male and it can't sting you. They're harmless. So it's the same relationship as with humans, you know. Male's harmless, female's dangerous.
The female of the species is more deadly than the male.
It's like a lot of things, you know, you can't really know if it's harmful till you get really close to it, and then it just kind of does one of these on you. And it's a little too late. It's like,
you mess with it, you know. It's not like a hornet will actually come after you to murder you, right? But we have a lot of hornets in Texas.
Just go right up your arm like a sewing machine.
Just run around your lawn and ignore you.
All right.
Also, they have a stinger that's about half the length. That's like a half an inch long. It's really huge. I don't know if that's how do they deal with bumblebees, you know, or what. But
yeah, I feel like I'm as a moderator, I've kind of already lost control of the show.
Okay, I'll throw this out.
Imagine
the velvet ant. Take one, scale it up to be 6 feet long. How can you use that in your role-playing game? There's my challenge.
Yeah, dare your players to get a good look at
That's
them.
my steed. I am riding the velvet ant with my
pants. If you have plus one Velcro pants, you can't be dislodged from your steed.
And Velcro, yeah, my velvet ant pants.
All right, hey Matt, did you go to ArneCon?
No.
I did go to ArneCon, and I had a great time too. I got to run a bunch of games and play in a bunch of others. I think I signed up for too many things because I don't think I had but 30 minutes the entire convention. I did get Chris to play in a game with me though, which was a lot of fun.
I heard a story about that. Do you want to recount the story about him describing his character? Do you remember that?
Oh man, are you talking about Gary the Fighter?
Gary the Fighter, and
yes,
yeah, and how do you spell Gary?
I don't remember how he said he spelled it in there.
Kevin.
Yes, yeah, I do remember that now. He
loved it.
It was great. We had 4 people die that session of Dracula in space, and that's one of the adventures in the Kickstarter. But
you ran Dracula in space.
I wrote Dracula in space, and it was a lot of fun. And we ran it there at the convention. We it's quite deadly.
Are you aware that the movie that affected me the very most as a tiny tot was the film Planet of the Vampires?
Oh man.
Or 1963. That blew me away. I was so terrified by that. Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it. No, I've. But you're the first one to
really
say that
good.
that was.
Is that the one with the planet full of lascivious women?
No.
And the guys land there, and the women
no
that are on the
vampires on it. Okay, listen to the start of this movie, Planet of the Vampires. Okay, Earth spaceships or human spaceships going through space, and it gets a distress signal from this uninhabited rock. So they land on it, and it's all bare rock and fumes and weird stuff. And they find that the beacon is coming from a wrecked alien spaceship with dead giant alien skeletons aboard it. And it's not a help, it's a warning. Don't come to this planet. And you know why? Because there's alien parasites on it. What does that sound like to you?
Yeah, really.
Like
something 79, except this is 1962. Yeah, it's exactly like Alien. It sounds exactly like Alien, and the aliens are not they're well, it's great. It's very gothic. The inside of the spaceships are these huge metal areas where that echo as they walk through it. And there's some gore, and they're all hot Italian women that wear leather suits. But they aren't lascivious. They're just doing their jobs, you know.
Right.
Italy actually made a lot of really good science fiction movies in the 60s that we don't see enough of. This is one.
When I commissioned the art on the cover for it, I was asked a few times by Castle Grief, like, "Oh, do I want this to be some weird alien Dracula?" I said, "No. I want Christopher Lee, but in space." So
nice.
It's not really the same kind of vampires as Planet of the Vampires, but Planet of the Vampires is only 90 minutes long. It's available free streaming. It is by the greatest horror director of all time, Mario Bava, so it's worth a look.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this is
check
what
it out. It's that time of year.
It is that time of year. I tried to hide behind the seat of my chair, watching the movie at the tender age of 8. So it was...
Judd says, "This is the Demeter 10. We're okay here. No vampires at all. Go save the free trader Beowulf instead."
You're right. It was the Demeter 11 that they were on.
There you go, the Demeter 11. I love it.
But yeah, no, I mean, the convention was a lot of fun. I got to hang out with a bunch of great folks, and I didn't have as much a chance to talk to Sandy. I was there to help out with the panel with you, Maurice, and Kente and Andre. But I was immediately on to the next game because Chancellor DM was running another Barrows and Borderlands game, so I rushed over to that one.
Okay.
I quickly threw a character down on the table. I said, "Can I join? I know I'm an hour and a half late, but you're gonna have to teach me how to play this game." But but it was a lot of fun, and I got to play in Banania, which was quite awesome. I very much so liked it. It was different enough from the first Braunstein that it's like they're two very different games, but lots of fun. The second one felt more war gamey than the first, but I mean, it was a crazy weekend. I had one of my players up there too. John came with me, and we split a hotel. And I think John's highlight, or at least what he told me, was that Griff's Sunday morning game, the Mochas and Dungeons, was his favorite so far.
That's not the first time I've heard somebody really appreciate that session. So I don't know what you did, Griff, that was special, but man, that one is there. I heard feedback about that, and I wasn't even there.
Mochas and Dragons is just I just run some classic game. I think next year I'll probably do Palace of the Vampire Queen, just to go with this vampire theme tonight.
Right on.
And I don't know. I mean, I was I didn't get to bed till 4:30 or 5, and I had to be there at 9, and I was a little late this time. And then I was running, what the hell is it? Sinopus Dungeon. It's my favorite dungeon.
Oh, okay.
I was running that one from the basic set. There you go. And I just added things, and the next thing you knew, the pit they fell into led to a hallway, and they were in freeform land, and then we just played. It was just Griff sort of deciding as we went what they would run into. I don't cheat. Improv. I just decide in my head what's going to happen next, or roll some dice, see how it feels. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Mm-hmm. Then we go forward, and everybody had a fun time. So
right on.
Yeah.
All right. So the first three guys I asked really didn't get to do much other than run their own games. Sounds like, Matt, you got to take part in a couple. Did anybody actually go to play? Was there any players that are on my screen? Okay, Lord Matteus, tell me about your ArneCon3 experience.
It was awesome. I went predominantly because of, like, the historical. I picked all the games that were like classic. So, I also wanted to go and check out some of the seminar stuff too, because Sandy was at VendorCon this year, and I missed his how to make a horror one shot. So I was like, I'm definitely going to catch it this time.
Oh, did you see it this time?
Yes, I did. Yeah. The black mold. That was a cool idea.
From the previous time.
Yeah.
Because it always is. Yeah.
Was it better or worse? Are you going to give Lord Matteus the FOMO all over again?
It's done by it's interactive. It's not just me.
Yeah,
I show how I make a horror scenario, and the audience gives me the tools to make it. That's why it's always different. It's not.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. It's just like so.
That's what it should be. Is get people in there.
They walk away with an awesome horror Call of Cthulhu scenario they can use.
Yeah, it was basically, what was it? The main elements were really like a mall and black mold and strange black mold zombie creature things. It was pretty cool. But yeah, so I got to play in Blackmoor, which was really cool. That was the first night. And then I also went to play in McCreetz's game Ascendant because I own it. And I read it, and I was like, the math is a little over my head. I'm not 100% sure I'm understanding this. So I'm like, well, he's running it, so I'm going to go learn how to play it through him.
Right on,
Come to find out I was overthinking it, and it's actually a really simple system to run. But that was a lot of fun. That was actually one of my favorite sessions. And then, like, after that, like, we all hung out at the bar afterward, just chatting. I got to meet Greg Gillespie, and we're having a powwow. But honestly, like, my favorite thing about going to these small cons is how intimate it is. Like, I've never been to a big con, so maybe I'm a little biased, but when I see the pictures and the videos, it's just like wall-to-wall. It feels like wall-to-wall vendors, big crowds. And the smaller cons, I just feel like you get to know people and hang out with people. And in fact, one of the first guys I met is right here next to me, and come to find out we like live really damn close to each other.
Really? Yep. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like, we just started talking, and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm from Western New York." He's like, "Me too." Yep. I'm like, where'd you grow up? This place. I'm like, I was in the town over, and then come to find out he grew up. I mean, granted, we're like 20 years apart, but like he grew up in a house probably 2 to 3, 4 minutes away from the house I grew up in. It's like bizarre. So,
and I actually, I was talking to one of my players, and I think his uncle is one of your players or plays with you. So that's.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We'll talk later.
We'll definitely have to talk later. Yeah, but anyway, that was like really crazy, awesome. And then I got to meet Matt's crew, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I ended, the capstone was the original Braunstein. I wanted to do that. I wanted to go last year to ArneCon3 to do it. But my boss basically told me, please don't go. It's a busy time of the year for us.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, okay, but next year I'm definitely going. So I got to do that, and that was a wild time. Pure chaos. That's the only way
So would you say that
it
was the highlight for you is getting to play in Braunstein?
I would say getting to not just that, but like actually meeting some of the people who were there in the beginning. Like, during the initial seminar panel discussion, with Ken St. Andre, Sandy, and Alexander McCrease. I did one of these. I turned and looked and saw this guy sitting next to me. And I was like, I know him. How do I know him? And then I looked at his badge, and it was Greg Svensson. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just like,
sitting right next to the first guy that ever survived a dungeon delve.
Yeah. And so I just,
I know this dude.
Yeah. So I just kind of was like, excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm a big fan of Thomas Borg. And then he was just very, very like chill, very humble. He's like, yeah, I kind of lost track of it. And then just about 15 years ago, we found it. And I'm like, yeah, it's wild. Great story. So, and then on Sunday morning, we were in a Thomas Borg game, and he was a player. So like Svensson and I and a group of people. And that game was actually pretty intense because we were so focused and so on point that we accomplished our mission 30 minutes ahead of schedule, no deaths. It was agreed that if this was an actual tournament game, we would have won the tournament.
Wow.
Yeah, It was awesome.
Was that with Dan?
Yeah.
Dan was your DM?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. So you got to play with one of the other authors. Like you had the creator of the dungeon and one of the authors of the book in the same session.
Yeah. It was awesome.
So that's not something you guys can get everywhere, right?
No.
And I feel like a lot of the cons, when you're looking at the website and you're like, oh man, what would I want to do? And you think about the events and the games, but there is so much that happens in between, in the hallway, at the bar after the fact. And like, I think there's a lot of value that doesn't show up on the promotional material, but like a lot of the stories that people tell after the fact are just these little incidental times and places where you can meet people and have conversations that there's nowhere else that can happen for you.
I would say also like the big conventions now, a lot of people are starting to have paid games. If you go to Gen Con, I think you have to pay to go to a game. And so that just seems kind of ridiculous where you go to something like ArneCon or any of the other smaller ones.
The amount you charge for the game at Gen Con, you can set yourself. So we always set ours to 0 from our company. But then sometimes you had to pay to use the gaming room or something. So then we had to set it to like $2 or whatever. But of course,
the ratios of like okay, if Sandy, if you're at Gen Con, how many games are you going to run?
0. That's how many Gen Con.
Right, because if you have a game, you've got 6 to 8 slots, and there's 50,000 people there or something ridiculous like that. That was what I was leading up to, is the ratios of gamers who are there to designers that are there. Our ratio of gamer to designer is actually really close to 50-50 because there are a lot of indie designers there showing off their games.
Yeah.
And there's no divas. It's like Sandy shows up. Sandy's totally chill and talks to anybody, So
you may have nightmares after you talk to him.
But yeah,
about Velvet Wasp.
I'm not unwilling to talk to you.
That's right.
Right.
Well, the thing is, when I do a convention, I always have to think about, well, if I'm doing a seminar, I am able to entertain all the people in that seminar for an hour. If I'm wandering the halls, I probably meet or interact with 30, 40, 50 people at that time, signing things, talking to them, whatever. And if I run a game, then I'm there for 4 or 5 hours and I'm entertaining like 6 people. So it just seems like not the best way to, frankly, benefit the convention from my presence. I'll entertain more people and do other things. On the other hand, the smaller the convention is, the higher a percentage of them are playing in my game. So there's that.
There's a difference between having a conversation with somebody and playing a game with somebody that gets it, right? All right, well, Dungeoneer, we haven't heard from you yet. How did you hear about ArneCon3? Why did you want to go? Are you glad you made the trip? Tell us about it, bro.
I'm definitely glad I made the trip. So I really went because of your interview with Jay and Harmony earlier this year at DaveCon.
Oh, yeah, they went to DaveCon.
Yeah,
that's right.
Braunstein won there and their experience. And I just decided that this year I have to go to ArneCon and play in the first Braunstein ran by David Wesley. And I made it happen. It was awesome. Banania was awesome. Got to play some B&B with Matt. Bought the books. It was fun. Got to play a game with Griff. That was very fun. That was awesome.
What'd you play?
And
was it Spiral Keep?
First day, yeah, Spiral Keep. It was a lot of fun. That was the one who was going too fast on that puzzle.
Oh yeah. You nearly nearly bought the farm, didn't you?
Almost. It was a lot of fun though. And I got to meet Lord Matteus here. First person I met. It was almost spooky.
Yeah, I'm still kind of like goosebumps about the whole thing. I'm like,
yeah, it's funny.
that's so weird. It's so weird.
Travel halfway across the country to meet somebody that grew up in the same town as me.
How did you feel about when you played Banania? Did Wesley do a really good? Because part of the game is the prologue. Like, he loads you up with information. A lot of people don't understand. The game has started, and this is like your background information. And so sometimes you get 20 minutes, sometimes you get 45 minutes, but he'll give you the whole history of that time period. And when you're ready to go, you're like, I know exactly where we are and what the world is like.
I think he might have did about 15, 20 minutes. I was playing the vice president, and Matt, the head of the Navy. He helped me out a lot. We only got through about Marines, only got through about 3 or 4 turns, but it was looking pretty good for me if I still had Matt on my side by the end of the game.
If it hadn't been for those communist rebels, we would have won.
Mm-hmm. And your player John, actually, we never got a debrief, but he was talking to me after. He achieved all of his goals and then some. I think he did really good.
Oh man, he was trying to set the board. Yeah, he was playing the head of the factory union, I think. So yeah, he was doing great. He had a lot of fun. He kept talking about it on the way home, and he was very excited that he had a chance to go up there and play. I think the Banania game was certainly a highlight. We had our plan in motion between the Marines, the who else was there? The Army, you, and we were starting to get things together. I was delivering that gun to John's character because he promised he wasn't going to be a communist rebel, so I was going to trust him.
If he had a gun.
Yeah, if he had a gun.
That's what a communist rebel would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of shooting in the dark there, but it was good fun.
No, it was a lot of fun. It was an awesome time. I loved, very intimate, small venue. There was about 140 people there, maybe. It was awesome. I'm planning on going again next year.
Oh, good.
Right on,
me too.
Just for there's been some questions in the chat. Griff, if you wouldn't mind, like the nutshell version, when people say, "What is Banania? What is Braunstein?"
Have you? These people obviously haven't seen Secrets of Blackmoor, the documentary.
Oh, they need to.
I would say if you're on YouTube, go look for the Informal Game channel, and we have about half the movie on the Informal Game channel. I think the sections on Braunstein and Banania are on YouTube, and then you have to get the DVD if you want to see the rest of the movie where D&D starts being created. But basically, it's a game. It's kind of I don't know. I hate to describe. It's an RPG. It's just a different kind of RPG. It has a different structure. In a D&D game, you're exploring, and you have a dungeon master who controls reality. And so there you go. And the dungeon master is controlling. So you can't do anything without the referee, because the referee has to describe. You say, "I go down the hallway," and they look at the map, and they're like, "Okay, you go 100 feet, you find a door." In the Braunstein games that Wesley created, the dungeon master isn't controlling reality. It's a game that's set up, and then you guys just go nuts and you talk to each other and wheel and deal with each other. So it's really more an issue of the referee setting up the situation. So there are times when you need something extra.
Like the old school play-by-mail game, then, like Flying Buffalo used to do.
It might be. I mean, it predates it. It's Flying Buffalo used to do play-by-mail stuff. This is really different because it's all live, and I had a friend who was playing one of those games back in the day. Actually, it's all live, and it's more like a game of diplomacy a little bit, but I don't know. It's hard to. I could go into all the details about it, but it would be a whole show about Braunstein.
Yeah,
it's just It's a different. It takes a different path than ArneCon took with D&D stuff with Blackmoor. Blackmoor is very much about the referee controls reality, and you have this shared reality that's being created as you go through the adventure. Whereas Braunstein, everybody has a persona, and their character, and they're walking around talking to people and interacting and negotiating for things they want. And like the game I played in, I convinced all the heads of the military that there was an assassination plot against them, and they all thanked me, and they gave me free, they gave me a visa to leave the country, so I fulfilled my victory conditions and left the country with a big wad of money because I was the man from imperialist industries. And that's kind of how it goes. I think now that it's becoming more popular and people know what the game is, people kind of play to win. And so that kind of changes it. When Wesley first ran it, people were playing mostly just to enjoy the experience rather than just playing to win. I heard about people last year fulfilling all their requirements, and so they were just going in with a list, and they weren't really role-playing the adventure of being the person. They were just like checking off what's my objective, and they just check off their objectives, and then they're like, I'm done. It's only been 2 hours. I'm done. It's like, well, I guess you don't have anything to do, bro. There's another 4 hours, and you don't have anything to do, because it tends to go about 4 hours altogether. Go ahead.
So, well, I was gonna say, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say it only took me 15 minutes the first time I played in Braunstein to decide that my objectives were completely wrong, and actually to fulfill them, all I needed to do was get rid of half the town. I decided I was going to be the gentleman villain mayor instead, and I was like, okay, well, it says that I've got to exile these students, or it says to make sure they don't get exiled. Well, they can't get exiled if they're dead. So that was my secret plot then. But yeah, I noticed something similar with those games where it was a mixture of people that were like, oh, look, they're getting it, like they're just role playing, they're trying to have a good time, and then some people were getting frustrated because they're like, how do I complete this goal? And it's like, it's a very, I don't want to call it a relaxed game, but it's better when you just go, you know what, let's just play the character, let's see what happens.
So it sounds a little to me, back in the early 90s, I ran a lot of LARPs, and not the kind where you get a sword and beat on people in the forest, the kind where you dress up and walk around and pretend to be. I had one that was Cafe Casablanca. Everyone was characters from 1940s Warner Brothers dramas, right? Casablanca, the Maltese Falcon, Passage, that kind of thing. I did one called the Queen's Musketeers, which everyone was characters from Musketeer era, doing plotting and doing that. And I did one, I think one of my favorites was Space Station Zanzibar, where you could be anyone. So we had like Darth Vader and Dracula and Yoda and everyone in this mishmash. It was mostly comedy. For example, Darth Vader had a problem because Princess Amidala was after him for child support for her twins. And he didn't have any money. He's this important, powerful guy, but he doesn't have any money. So he's constantly trying to figure out some way to pay him off. And Moff Tarkin had a Death Star, but he didn't have a battery to make it work, so it wasn't able to blow up planets. He could only threaten you.
Don't you make me get the button out.
Everyone was going around, interacting, constantly talking, doing things, and these were. It sounds a little like the Braunstein, except ours were usually like 50 to 100 people, and.
Braunstein, the big difference is that Braunstein had an influence on the original creation of D&D. I mean, it's a parallel development, but it has an effect on the creation of D&D, which comes out of role playing and war games. Yeah. And so that's why people are really interested in
kind of like interactive theater, but it did have rules. Yet we had combat systems usually based on like rock, paper, scissors or something,
Right.
Well, there are some that would point to Braunstein, correctly or incorrectly. They would say that one game took a bunch of war gamers who were used to running an army and said, no, you've got one character for the night. We'll do the army game tomorrow. It was kind of a con because they never did do the follow-up.
Right. Well, they thought it was a setup for a Napoleonic battle, and they show up in a Prussian town as the French army is supposedly approaching, and they were supposed to figure out what, some of them were spies, some of them were townspeople, and just figure out what was going on. But it was never a plan for it to be a Napoleonic battle. But this was like in the original game. It was first played, I'm thinking 1968, Christmas of 1968, or something like that. So it's definitely there isn't anything out there that has the same effect. There are other games that predate it, but they don't have any rules. Whereas Wesley kind of has rules and a system for creating these things.
And then that went on to Brownstone, right, with Jenkins and them, and and then one thing led to another, and here we are.
I mean, if you're in the chat and you're curious about this stuff, just watch the movie.
Watch the movie. It's the best introduction. I mean, that's how I learned about it.
I wanted to quickly pick Griff's brain because you were well, it was brought up earlier, the play by mail stuff, and I keep seeing stuff about one play by mail game that happened in like 72 or something. It was a war game, but it was called Midgard. Did you ever see anything about that?
I'm trying to think about Midgard. I don't know enough about it. It's not.
It was like a Tom Drake and Hartley Patterson thing. I think they were using Tony Bath.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's the British stuff. Well, there's a lot of crosstalk between those things. It's just I don't have access to the people that were doing that. I mostly just focused. I was really looking at the lineage of. You've got the Blackmoor bunch, and they're in Minnesota, and they're really the MMSA, the Midwest Military Simulations Association. And so they're working on this stuff for 10 years or more, and then eventually it evolves into D&D. So they're kind of they're the connection to D&D. A lot of people will say like, "Oh, we had this thing over here," and it's like, "Yeah, you did, but it doesn't feed into the path that creates D&D." I would say that there was a big influence. Sorry, I get all professory. There was a big influence from the British gamers. It's just really hard to trace because they're not around anymore. And there are letters where I think ArneCon was writing to those guys. We know that Bill Hoyt, he was a kid and he went over to England, and he ended up, his family knew some guy that was a war gamer, and so it went over, and it was, I don't remember if it was Bath or the other guy, but he ended up, I get the names confused with the English gamers. He ended up learning. Yeah, he played his first game with Featherstone, I think.
Wow.
And he was like, 10 or 12.
Well,
so there is a connection there, but it's hard to trace those specifics.
I recently spoke to Hartley Patterson, who did he ran the first Midgard game. I didn't get to talk with him too much, but he was basically he was talking about that whole era, and I think Wesley touched on this too, because later those guys went on to play D&D once that came out, because they were like, "Oh, cool." But Wesley was talking about how it was like the perfect storm that wound up creating D&D with ArneCon in there, and all of the like the Lord of the Rings book coming out and being more prevalent, and then all these wargamers and sort of in a I think he described it not as a time of peace, but a time of free time in America. Like they had more chances to try things out. But no, it's definitely, y'all should definitely go watch that.
Well, anybody, Sandy's kind of more my age, and I'm sure he would say the same thing. It's like it was in the zeitgeist of the period. Even before RPGs existed, there was kind of a lot of interest in things like that. And it just made sense when it happened. All of us kids were like, yeah, so this is what I want to do.
In high school and earlier, about the time that ArneCon and Gygax were developing D&D, I was playing miniature war games. I was too poor to have actual miniatures, right? So we used Airfix figures, and we even though they were the worst things ever to paint, they just flake right off. I
still use those. They're the worst.
We across the concept of having one of the officers. We did World War II mostly, but and one of the officers be us. Like Lieutenant Petersen, and then he would rise in rank, which I've since learned is exactly how it sort of started in Napoleonics with Gygax and Art. They had a dude they would advance. Then when they switched from Napoleonics to medieval war games, they like D&D kind of evolved out of that. So I was kind of falling down the same. I'm not saying I would have invented D&D on my own, but clearly some random kid in the mountains of Utah was doing some of the same things,
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. It was like, if it wasn't them, it would be somebody else, because a lot of people were doing similar things. But ArneCon is really the one who comes up with the weird idea of doing the
adventure
the
gaming
information adventure, like all the, I've got
the man. Just the heroes, it was, I don't know if he had just the heroes. When we played D&D, I remember we all went in with a bunch of henchmen, and this is 1974. So our group going into the dungeon was like 4 or 5 guys for each player, and it was actually quite an army.
Well, ArneCon was doing things where he would have like a player in charge of a Balrog, and a player in charge of, like, he'd have the bad guys represented by players too. So like when you went into the dungeon, it wasn't just like,
Well,
okay, the DM's coming up with all the stuff. It's like I'm telling the DM what I'm going to do to try to protect my loot from those pesky players, right?
Well, it makes sense if you're going at it from the viewpoint of a tabletop miniatures war game, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Griff, I talked over you. What were you about to say?
Oh, nothing. I was just kind of agreeing and going, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I always talk about this stuff because I'm the Secrets of Blackmoor guy, so people want to know
Blackmoor guy.
all about it, and it's like, well, just watch the movie and you'll find out most of it.
You got to watch the movie. For people that like haven't seen it, or maybe even like from my friends that don't even play D&D or anything, the way I try to describe it is, imagine how to host a murder with a conflict resolution mechanic. Right? Everybody, there's a scenario. Oh, you got to take off, Matt.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for having me on. And
if you guys watch Fox Off's channel, you're going to see where Matt's going tonight.
Yeah, tomorrow it'll come out. We're recording tonight. But yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Matt.
But like Sandy, you were gaming before D&D came out, and
I
when D&D came out.
Yeah, when I was
I just lost sound.
When I was like 10 years old. Well,
you can. Okay. I can't hear Sandy.
You can't hear me?
That's weird. I can hear you, Sandy. You're sounding good to me.
10 years old, my dad got me a copy of the Avalon Hill game Gettysburg, and we immediately lost the rules. So all I had was the counters and the map. But it was so interesting. And then
last time we had problems,
when I was 12, I found
reset. So I'm going to reset. So I'm going to disappear for a second.
Okay, dip and roll. Well, I'll let you back in. Go ahead, Sandy.
I found a different copy of the game, at a store, and so I'll do dishes for a month if I buy this game, Dad. So he got me the game, and then me and my friends were playing Gettysburg. We found out about other Avalon Hill games. We were playing war games constantly, and we learned about SPI. We played their games. We played miniatures games with our Airfix figures, and.
So how did the Gettysburg rules stack up once you finally got the rules? Like, did you like the stuff you'd come up with better, or were you like,
I didn't know anything else. I wanted other battles, right? Like we'd get the Avalon Hill game 1914, which is the Western Front, and boy, is that a deathly hard game to play. So we made up a version of it for the Eastern Front, so we could play that one too. And we just like everything was, was creative and dynamic. And then 1974. We find out about D&D, and it sounded like the stupidest idea ever to me. My friend said, "Oh, you go to a dungeon and fight monsters." I said, "That's ridiculous. One guy
would go down there,
roll a whole army and conquer Russia." But then he made us play it, and it was good. And we still played war games and other games too. We played a lot of variant chess, like we played Thai chess and Burmese chess and old ancient chess variants. But we definitely also played. Dungeons and Dragons, and then when other competing games started coming out, like Traveler and such, then we'd incorporate Traveler or Chivalry and Sorcery or the Fantasy Trip and play like 50-50 that and D&D. And then over the course of the year, D&D would once more take over and drive out the other game until 1978 when we started playing RuneQuest, and initially it was 50% RuneQuest and D&D, and then RuneQuest took over and drove out D&D.
It's interesting how the different games are in eras. Even your game, like I think your game came out around 1979 or so.
1981. So
it was 81. Okay. And I remember. I mean, I bought a copy. When it first came out, and we played it.
Thanks.
And, so there's
50 cents off that, I think.
What's that?
I think I got 50 cents off that. So thanks.
Oh, sure. I hope you were able to get like a Snickers bar, maybe 2 at that time. They might have still been a quarter each back then. But no, there are different eras. Like when you said the rune, we played this, we played D&D, then Traveler came out. We played Traveler. Then RuneQuest came out. We played RuneQuest. For me, it was like, then your game came out and we just were like, we're going to play this, and then the other one that I remember was maybe Paranoia after that or around that time too.
Paranoia was later in the 80s, but yeah, that was like a parody of role-playing games. Just made it very entertaining.
Yeah.
Backstabbing guy.
Yeah.
We do have a comment in the chat. John Branton says, "Sorry I wasn't able to hop on. Currently driving home from work. The con was amazing. I got to meet so many amazing people and creators. This was my first con, and it was nothing like I expected."
Yay!
So that's good to hear, man. Thanks for sharing that.
I'm supposed to be Macris, and Macris's brother, who's been to a lot of cons, said it was the best con he'd ever been to.
Rock on.
So, and this is a guy that went to Gen Con and stuff like that. He was just like, Willie was he was a blast to hang out with too. I hung out with him a bit, and Macris said he also enjoyed it. So, I mean, it's not the guy that's the promoter guy is going to tell you like, this is the greatest thing in the world. You got to do it. It's like, no, just listen to the people that went there and what their experiences were, and you'll probably hear some interesting stories. And
okay, but this was the third time you've done this.
Mm-hmm.
What was special about ArneCon3, and was there anything especially difficult about this one compared to the other two?
Well, we expanded. I'll start with the difficulties. We expanded. For the first time, we had vendors, so that was a little bit of logistical trouble.
Okay.
We got more guests, and so the guest thing was kind of complicated. What else was difficult? There was something difficult that I'm just not going to talk about. And
yeah, fair enough.
There was some drama around it that I'm just not going to talk about. So just little things like that. But we keep tightening the screws. We're going to make it simpler. We want it to be sort of a really basic convention. We don't want. We're never going to do something like a cosplay contest because cosplay has nothing. It's more about anime. It should be at an anime convention instead of at a wargaming.
The cosplay at Gen Con a couple of times, and it was super fun.
I'm sure it is, but it's not wargaming, and it's not.
You don't have enough people for it.
What's that?
You don't have enough people for it. Gen Con has 80,000 people. They can do
a parade. Yeah. It's just a different thing.
I just don't trust people that dress up like that.
So that was kind of like the difficult stuff.
What are they trying to hide?
The better stuff, I don't know. I think that the energy, I think that everybody has a good time every time they go. I mean, it's still a game convention. They're still spending time with people. I think that the caliber of, I mean, Sandy's got to close his ears because he's getting all these compliments all the time. But it's like we had Sandy Petersen there, and he was running games and doing seminars, and that's for us. It's really huge, And then we had Macris there, who's really significant. We had Greg Gillespie. We had we always have Wesley and McGarry running Dungeon board game. Those are and those are foundational things. Dungeon board game sort of came out of, well, it didn't sort of, it came out of Arneson's creation, the Dungeon, and it turned it into a board game that you can play without a referee. And it was created around, I think it was the fall of 1972 was when it was created. So it's a really early thing. And then who else was there that was impressive? Just, I don't know, we just bring in a lot of people that are really into gaming and stuff.
Well,
we had
around and you're sitting next to the great Svenny himself, right?
We lost Sandy here. Yeah, you have Greg Svensson came in, Dan Boggs, my co-author on the
Ken St. Andre.
All three authors were there for this book,
Yeah.
And they were running D&D games and stuff. And we had Paul Stormberg was there, who runs the Collector's Trove, which is an auction company that deals in the estates of old gamers. And so he's like sold a lot of things that belong to a lot of famous gamers.
He had a really fascinating podcast that came out also. Was it last year?
He did the D&D podcast.
When we were wizards? Oh, man.
And he's kind of a significant person if you're doing historical research. Like everybody goes to talk to Paul Stormberg. You don't get around it. You've got to go talk to Paul Stormberg if you want to do it.
Judd says the Plato room hacked the Pentagon.
Well, yeah, maybe. And then we had the Plato room for the people that were into like vintage computer games. I'm trying to think like I hate to say it's just the same thing every time because I go there and I have a blast, And so
is it getting easier or is it getting more difficult as the complexities mount?
This one was really hard, and we really took a look at it, and we wanted to know whether we wanted to ever do it again.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were like that was just kind of like a pain in a lot of ways. Like it was really awesome, but it was also a pain. And so we had a big meeting about 2 weeks. We needed time to recover, so it took like a week or two to sit down and go like, okay, what was good, what was bad. And we just itemized it pretty much. and we decided one of the things we don't really want to do is work too hard to make it grow, because it's not based on a business model. It's based on a gamer pizza party in a hotel.
Ha, I love it. A gamer pizza party in a hotel.
Yeah, and the goal isn't to profit off of it or anything like that. The goal is to create sort of the hub for the OSR. I think that maybe one other convention is really the hub of OSR, which would be the North Texas RPG.
I was just going to mention that.
We're the Lake Geneva version of that, which is in some ways more OSR because we have the original gamers there. We had, like, there were other people you don't know about, like John Warren came to the convention. Nobody knows who John is. He was a kid who used to go over to Pete Gaylord's house when they were play testing D&D. Wow. So there's this like 6 or 8 year old kid hanging out who's like watching and then gets in on the sessions, and he's gaming with them, and nobody knows who he is. But he was at the game convention playing games, and he had a blast. I'd see him. It's like Griff, this is great, you know. What else is there to say? I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
so
it's
I got some comments from John Brandt, and he says, "Not trying to glaze, but playing in Griff's game was peak. That session was so much fun. I'm still having nightmares from goblins dancing in the moonlight."
Ooh, I don't remember that part.
And he says, and Ken St. Andre playing my Fight Man stuff was stuff that bucket lists contain. Totally epic.
Yeah, Ken St. Andre was there. I mean, D&D comes out in 74. By 75, the second RPG comes out, and it's Tunnels and Trolls. Mm-hmm. And so it's significant to be able to. No other convention. I mean, it's the 50th anniversary of Tunnels and Trolls, right?
Yeah.
So, and as far as I know, from what Ken told me, no other convention invited him to be a guest. Nobody made mention of the fact that this is significant in the history of our industry and our hobby. And so we brought him in and tried to treat him nicely, and people were really happy to see him. And that's kind of, you know, it makes me feel good that we can do that for people like that and just say, like, you know what, you did something really significant, and we want to honor you for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, for whatever that's worth, we know, right? So anyway.
So, okay, I got a bit of a tough one.
Okay.
What do you guys think? How would Dave Arneson have felt about ArneCon3 if he could have seen it? From what you know, or from knowing him, Sandy? I believe you said you knew him. You met him.
I did know him. Yes, I do. I met him. He had a really fabulous sense of humor. I think he'd been very amused that they're making a whole convention about him.
Yeah, he would have had a sense.
He would have loved to go to the convention and be in his glory and show off. One year I would hang out with him, and he had a special T-shirt made, and he said, "I'm the only guy that can wear this," and it said "Co-creator of D&D" right there at Gen Con, and he wore it everywhere, and people were like, because of course at that time his role was being suppressed by TSR, right?
Yeah.
Loons. So he made it very clear that he had done that, and people were like, "You co-created it?" He says, "Yep, my name's right on the cover." And that was when they were trying to differentiate like D&D from a advanced D&D, which is a totally different game. Nothing to come,
right.
You know,
it has nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah,
nothing to do with it at all. Yeah. So,
I've seen the trial evidence.
The goal is not paying royalties, I assume, but so but the fact that he wasn't part of TSR meant that he was unburdened by many of the tentacles and villainy that went on there, and Gary eventually escaped it, but it did encumber him for a while.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think Arneson was having more fun during that time period?
Well, I think he was probably not very happy about what they were doing, trying to restrict him, right? But he was able to be. But if he's the guy being oppressed, he could be laid back and have fun and run games. And enough people knew who he was, so he always had people hanging out, enjoying him, you know. And it was kind of pleasant for me because when I hang out next to him, then usually people that came over were coming for Dave, so I wasn't having a constant stream of teenagers trying to show me their awesome Deep One character for Call of Cthulhu.
There is something to being on all the time, right? Like when you have a bunch of people come in and like it's almost like they're like, I want to thank you. You've given me so much. But in that moment, you feel like, is there something else I need to give them, like a story or a memory or something they can walk away from?
I invite to every single person that comes to me. And if they look like they're going to be drag my time out that I do, then I do my best to escape in a friendly and lovable way.
Right on. But harder to escape in a small con like ArneCon.
Yeah, well, that was a problem there because people were older and more reasonable. But you know who had it the worst? Steve Petersen and George McDonald, because they did Champions. And of course, in Champions, the main thing is you make these complicated characters. So every single person that went to talk to them had to explain their character.
Oh.
Whereas actually, usually with Call of Cthulhu, they come to me to tell me about the awesome way their character died. And that's always entertaining, you know?
Yeah.
So, depends on your...
Frank's got some good questions. I would say, Frank, a lot of your questions would be answered by watching Secrets of Blackmoor, because Griff was able to interview people that were there, and they don't hold back. They're open on camera. I'm still trying to learn from Griff. As someone who also tries to interview people, how do you get them to come open like that and get the stuff that nobody else can get out of them? So yeah, you got to read that stuff. I
also recommend Heroic Worlds by Lawrence Schick. He worked at TSR in the 70s.
I have it.
Yeah, and he interviewed all those guys, and Heroic Worlds gives a lot of the information about that. He did a bunch of their old stuff. He told me chilling stories about the reign of the Blooms and Lorraine. So,
that's interesting. Well, we won't go down that road, but that is interesting. The big problem with a lot of the writings on D&D is that a lot of the people that are writing books don't actually have training as far as being researchers, and so they don't really know how to approach it from. You're always going to be biased, and your content is always going to be biased.
Yeah.
But and so you can establish sort of a thesis of like, well, this is what I think. Yeah. But I think that most of the histories out there are a little bit too biased, and I mean, when we went out to do Secrets of Blackmoor, it was on a lark. It was like I'd been talking to people, and it was like, hey, Chris, I've been learning all this stuff about D&D. It's really quite interesting. And he was like, let's just go up to the Twin Cities and shoot. So we spent a week shooting, and we spent a crap ton, thousands and thousands of dollars doing it. And it was a small crew and very minimal. But, hotels for like a 10-day trip for shooting it are a lot. Hotels and everything, driving. Mm-hmm. And so, but it was like, if we come away and the people in the Twin Cities say, oh, Dave Arneson was an idiot. It was Gary Gygax that did everything, right? It would have been like, okay, we're going to do a movie about Gary Gygax. But the evidence of all the documents and everything that we found revealed that Blackmoor originated the play style.
It was the epicenter.
Yeah, and then we talked to Rob Kuntz, who was at the ground zero when it started to really happen in Lake Geneva. And Rob was like, oh no, without Dave Arneson's idea, it would never have happened, right?
Yeah. Well, that's where Lawrence Schick's book comes in. He knew Gary, he knew Dave Arneson, he knew Rob, he knew all these guys. And so he was there, and he was a good writer. But yeah, you're right. Research doesn't... What you said was correct about researchers not really being able to get the full thing.
Yeah, I think there's some things out there that are kind of written almost like a comic book or something like that, and it's just people interviewing people and rewriting anecdotes and putting them together into some sort of research thing, and it's just like, oh my god,
it seems like we as a species are getting worse at research. Like just this week, Sandy got called a tourist, and Rob was told that he needed to read a D&D book, and I was
but those aren't researchers.
Holy crap! You just told the guy who was there when Arneson showed Gygax D&D. You just told him to read a D&D book.
So since I don't actually play them, then how would I guess the 6 or 7 I designed, or where I just did so that actually happened once, for the Universe game by SPI.
Oh, I got that one right over here. Let me grab it.
Yeah. So what happened is that they went to SPI said, we got to have a role-playing game like this. Let's do one. So they got their guy to design Universe, and he did it never playing in an actual role-playing game. Okay, I got this from the guy, and then and then just like a month or so before it's going to be released, he goes and he plays in the game of D&D, and he's like, Oh, this is
Oh,
supposed to be like. That's why Universe is so whack. You know,
it is. It's I had it and I never played it because I was like,
at least,
"Ah,
yeah. At least the other game they did, the Dragon Quest one.
yeah,
Eric Goldberg did play a role-playing game before designing that one, but Universe
and, yeah."
never played
This
one.
was my first ever role playing game, a West End Games, the D6 system. I know Sandy, you worked on Ghostbusters as well.
I did the D6 system. That is my system.
Choice.
Oh,
They took it for Ghostbusters or Star Wars, and that's fine because you can't copyright a game system. I'm happy. It's been used in other things too. There's a Musketeers game that uses it and other things. It's a very flexible system. Rhesus kind of uses the variant of it. If you've ever played Rhesus.
So
I've
D6
not
Star
played
Wars
that.
was also my first system. It was in 2019, like 20, 30 years after the game came out. But that was
Okay.
the first game I got my friends, roped them into playing. It's a great
When
system.
Ghostbusters?
D6 Star Wars was.
Oh, D6 Star Wars. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
The
that's
D6 system is such a light chassis that it really encouraged role playing with my young group of friends. We started with BattleTech. That was like the first nerdy game we played, and then when we got a copy of this, it just fired BattleTech from the tables. Everybody wanted to play this every time we got together. So that's why I'm even into this whole hobby, is because of this game. So thanks for the D6 system.
Well, I will take 1% of the credit for giving it an awesome system.
Though I wanted to just mention, like, the Lawrence Schick book. One of the things I did take from that, because I had the same opinion, but he really said it well, and so I just cite his comments because he wrote them before I even started working on my movie. But he described an RPG as a new art form.
Yes,
and it's
talked about
not
that many times.
It's not theater. It's a thing that
Yeah.
happens in the moment. It's like it's you enter a narrative state, is the way I like to describe it.
It's collaborative.
And the narrative of the story comes out of being in that narrative state, and so you're kind of in a story state the minute you start playing. That it's just you're there, and I always felt that was really significant because it kind of set it apart. It's a performance art, and it's happening in the moment, And there aren't other performance arts that have, like, there isn't an audience. You can't be in the, like, CR is never.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't be in the audience and
I
enjoy
worked
it
with
the way.
Lawrence at Microprose Software from 1988 to 1993, and we were such good friends that I gave one of my kids the middle name Lawrence after him. So.
Oh wow! Did Lawrence pass away then? I can't track everybody.
He's
Is he
around.
still
He's
around?
retired in Maryland.
Really?
Yes,
think
he's
he'd
one.
come to ArneCon?
He's super ancient. I tell him that all the time. What?
Do you think he'd come to ArneCon, or is he too old for that?
Worth a shot.
It's
Yeah,
a
man.
shot. I'll have to hit you up to put me in touch with him somehow.
You
I'm always
hoist
I
people.
found him on LinkedIn. He was doing. He'd gone to video games from TSR. He's the one that recruited me to go from Chaosium to do video games.
Huh.
It's his fault that I did Doom, Quake, and Age of Empires.
That's terrible. That's just terrible. Anyone else have any funny stories from the convention?
Yeah, I want to know what stood out to you guys.
'Cause I can tell one that's kind of funny. Is we showed up and the hotel had kind of screwed some things up. We weren't aware that they'd screwed them up, but they had done some things with our logistics that just didn't quite match what we needed to happen.
Oh, really?
And so to pay us back, they said, well, we have a suite. We can give you a suite. And so we were like, okay, great. We got a suite on the 14th floor. We don't know what we're going to do with it. So then Chris is sitting there and he's like, he's hanging out at the front desk, and the Canadian contingent, as I call them, they come every year. There are these two Canadians. They're hilarious. And they show up and they're like, we always get a suite so we can throw the convention party on Saturday night, but they didn't schedule our suite this year. I booked it, and then I booked it, and I didn't get, I got a room with a queen size bed in it. We don't know where we're gonna do it. And Chris was like, oh, well, I think we can work something out here. And so we just basically gave him the keys to the suite that the hotel had given us, and we were like, just do it, do your thing. And so it became official, sort of unofficially official, that the Canadian contingent would throw the ArneCon Saturday night after party, and they got a bunch of snacks and stuff and things to drink. I mean, not everything was alcoholic to either. I mean, it was like, if you want to go hang out with all the gamers after hours, you can go there. And so that's kind of going to become a tradition. The Canadian contingent is going to throw the late night party and invade ArneCon for a few hours. And last year I left at past 2 a.m. and the next day I was just bleary-eyed. I had to run my mochas and dragons, kind of pasty.
Well,
and then this year, I left. It must have been 4:30 in the morning when I left, or after that. And I wasn't. It's not like I don't drink that much, but it was just like it's 4:30 in the morning. We've been running full bore since we got into the Twin Cities Tuesday night to get things ready. So we were running the whole time, and it was Saturday night or Sunday morning, and I was just like, that was those Canadians. I'm gonna have to blame them. I'm blaming them. It's you, Jim.
All right, before I get to Lord Matteus' funny story, there is a comment in here. Michael Dale says, has anyone ever dug into Hargrave's Arduin, either as the original D&D supplements or as latest? It's funny you should mention that.
There's a Kickstarter.
I have a whole banner for this. There's a Kickstarter going on right now. Tell us about it, Griff.
Well, it's kind of cool. This actually has a lot of history. I wanted to get a bunch of indie companies together because the indies there's a lot of drama around like there's sort of a lot of access media in the industry. And so you're not going to see most of the indies getting awards for the things they produce. I'll never get an Annie. Like they don't really know I exist, or they don't want me to exist. And the same can be said for some of the older things like Hargraves. And then you got Matt Tapp with his new spin-off kind of OSR game. And so I started a Facebook. I was just talking to people, and I started a Facebook group for independent gamers to talk to each other and strategize and sort of team up and be like, you're not the market's huge, okay? Mm-hmm. We're not competing with each other. You don't even have to like each other. Just be nice to each other. And but the Arduin guys, it's weird because they weren't going to do a Kickstarter, and then I was telling them, you got to do reprints of the original books. And I put that bug in their ear, and I was like, if you reprinted the old books, and then Matt was reprinting the old books for his own thing, and he does like personal D&D sets. Like I sent him a PDF of the D&D set, and he made me like a perfect reproduction.
Oh, nice.
And anyway, so they started talking. It just kind of snowballed, and next thing you know, the Arduin guys are like, we're going to do a Kickstarter, and then it's like, Matt's in. Matt wants to do it with us. Would you want to do it with us, Griff? And I was like, yeah, I'll jump in. I mean, I'm not a major player in it. I'm not making thousands and thousands of dollars off of it. I was just like, yeah, I'll throw me in there and I'll promote it on my social media. I've got the bigger social media, help you guys out. And they put together this bundle. It just kind of evolved. Like if you scroll all the way up again to the image of just what's in the bundle, like that image, the image with all the things laid out. It's a box that comes with all that stuff.
And those maps.
And it's all, it's all geared toward vintage. Like, Hargraves is kind of interesting because it's I kind of wanted to go this direction with Sandy, but he already kind of covered it. Is like the idea that you got D&D, it wasn't complete, it wasn't perfectly written. And so you would just...
We didn't expect it to be complete. It was obviously a fan-made project. Look at the terrible art. So we were
it's high school kids made the art.
It's impossible to figure out from reading the rules. The combat system's impossible to figure out. So
you got the feeling they were so excited they just wanted to get it out there and get people playing with it.
Yeah, I'm not even complaining. It's like it was great.
Right, and that's kind of the essence of how to play if you want to play a lot of these games. It's like if you have whatever you have, just figure it out in your own way and play it that way. And so you have these spin-offs. Like Arduin is really just Hargrave's home campaign, and he decided to publish it all, right? And then he just kept publishing, and so it's sort of like the supplements to D&D, where D&D takes a really dark spin to it, and you go into a place that's really lethal and dangerous and just weird, where you've got a lot of it's a little bit more sci-fi-y than even Blackmoor was. And So anyway, you got that old style
And
stuff.
looks like Space Dracula is part of the collection.
Yeah, Space Dracula's in there. So then you've got Tonnisborg, which is Greg Svensson's 1973 dungeon. So it predates. He made it with a draft of D&D before D&D was published, and which is funny because when the trial documents were finally found and revealed all over the web, people were commenting about the one room. There's a 10 by 10 foot room that has wyverns in it, and it's got something like, I don't remember how many it is. Maybe it's like 10 wyverns in a 10 by 10 room. And everybody was like, that's crazy. Doesn't he know what he's talking about? We didn't have. If you look at, I looked at the same draft that he had, and it just says wyverns are small dragons. Well, I don't know. You tell me.
No, they only have 4 limbs instead of 6 limbs. They're very different from dragons.
Yeah, the
But,
wings
but
are
in that
huge.
edition, they said they were small dragons. So Greg saw that, and he assumed maybe you can fit 10 of them into a 10 by 10 foot room, right? Anyway, that's old, and then Matt Tapp is just drawing on all the old stuff to create his own vibe, and that's what it should be. It's like we're not stuck in the old ways. Even every game, and I always want to include Sandy in here because he's like, an early generation gamer like me, but it's like, it's still alive.
You don't know how retarded we were back in the day when Greyhawk came out and had thieves. We're doing. No one wanted to be a thief, right? They're puny,
right?
Useless because they have like a 50% chance of not being poisoned when they open the lock. So we didn't look up much about it. So we're playing the game and we're rolling for the monsters that attacked us, and it was foot pads. And we're like, what the hell kind of monster is that? We'd imagine little things with giant feet. And so that was.
So you invented a foot pad monster.
We had to put in the foot pad monster.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Then later on, I found out what they were, and then I didn't tell the players. I just said, "Yeah, there's foot pads attacking you," and we're all freaked out. But then I riffed on it. I said, "Now you're being attacked by flabellifers, which you should all use as a monster in your game."
Flabellifers.
Yeah, they're the guys with the big fans that are doing the Egyptian king.
Oh.
So I didn't tell. I just, flabellifers are attacking you. They go, "Oh my gosh!"
Do they have more hit dice than a gazebo?
Yeah, well, the hortators, those are the Roman guys in the galley that pound the drums. They have hortators coming along, and they've all these things that no one knows.
Hortators and the flabellifers. I love it. Well, I do want to point out there's only
jobs, and then the players are going to be all excited that they're meeting these new cool monsters you made up.
Just read a Gene Wolfe book and just grab all the words out. I did want to point out only 8 days to go on this project. So you guys are watching this just in time. If you haven't backed, you can get in on all this goodness.
Yeah.
What if they're like me? Like I already own Tonnisborg. I already own Borderlands and Barrows. I do not own the Arduin trilogy. Is it still worth
you want an Arduin trilogy? Well, you can get an Arduin trilogy just by itself, but a lot of people are saying, like, I have a hardbound Tonnisborg because we did do all the hardbounds, and they're I'll get this to get the paperback. Or they're saying, I'll get the bundle because I want everything else, and I'll just give my Tonnisborg to my buddy. So,
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is sometimes I do giveaways on the channel. I might get the whole set and then give away my extras.
That's what I'm doing.
I might have to color them first because that's what I'm known for using coloring pencils. But yeah, so let me stop sharing this. Let's get back to the questions. The question that was asked by Griff was something funny, something memorable that happened while you were there. I'll let Lord Matteus go first, and then I want to hear from Dungeoneer.
Well, this is kind of ripping off of the whole after hours party. We started off after Macris's game. It was such a great game. We had such a good time. Yo Dano and I were gaming together.
I almost got Yo Dano for tonight, but he's working nights right now, so he couldn't make it.
Real wonderful man. Anyway,
I'll be back. Hang on. All right, go ahead and I'll refresh.
Do the dip and roll.
And so I was just like, hey guys, it's first drinks on me kind of thing. And like I said, we were talking for a few hours, and then we went up to the after hours party, and that was just like crazy good time. I left around 2:33 o'clock in the morning, kind of kicking myself because I did part. I think I was drinking a lot of Japanese whiskey or something. I don't remember what it was, but but I had to get up for that Tannisburg game because I did not want to miss it. And oh man, I was not feeling good.
Was everybody hungover at that game?
I don't know. I think I was, but I gotta say the accommodations for ArneCon, that hotel was fantastic because I went in to get a cup of coffee and a to-go cup to make sure I could make the game, and the server just looked at me and she goes, "Do you want a carafe? Do you want the whole pot?" And I was like, "Can I?" And she's like, "Absolutely, darling. You look like you need it."
Oh man, that's
so
hilarious.
I'm playing Johannesburg, and I got like my own little coffee pot, and I'm just like drinking coffee. That was hilarious.
No, Wendy already told me I had to take you.
You're gonna be able to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, my sister walked in. Wait,
No worries.
Julie.
But yeah, that's
turn
my funny story. Like great accommodations. I felt like $1 million, even though I was hungover, and it was a good
Judd
time
says
all
the
around.
water pressure was amazing.
Oh yeah, I actually, that Judd had warned me about that, and I went up later in the afternoon when I was able to get into my room finally, because I was there kind of early Friday, and I went to just get myself a little sip of water, and I ended up like splashing water all over me. It was like pretty powerful. So
Was it the bidet? Did you know what you were doing?
no, it's not the bidet.
I have to ask for that. Bidets in every room. High pressure bidet.
Ooh, I'm clean.
Fresh.
All right, Dungeoneer. Tell me what happened, man. What stands out to you?
My weekend was pretty full of gaming. I had a pretty full schedule. Didn't have much downtime at all. I mean, the whole weekend was very fun. I can't really remember one particularly hilarious moment. I remember in Griff's game, it wasn't that funny in the moment, but the other players, one of the players had a mule that could smell out gold, and we spent probably 30 minutes trying to get that mule across some ravine, rigging it up with rope and a block and tackle and stuff, and wasn't really.
I got to hear more about this mule.
It was hilarious. The mule, I use the same characters when I used to run Tannisborg when I do convention games, because it's just easier to give people a character and let them play.
Yeah.
And so I have characters like, well, I haven't really tested it out, but I've really considered that one of them has a pet rat, but I always thought it would be interesting if the pet rat was a were-gargoyle. So at some point the rat turns into a gargoyle and is part of the party or something. But I've had the mule. I've had people it's always the halfling that has it. I've had people get their character killed, and a party's like, "You're going to be the mule now," and so the player plays the mule. And
so how did the mule acquire the ability to sniff out gold? Because
it's a magic mule. It may be somebody that was polymorphed into a mule. It's smarter than normal, and and it's buddies with the halfling, so it's kind of like the halfling character gets two characters in a way. But the mule thing in the Spiral Keep, it's weird because there's, it's a dungeon. You can go anywhere. Players always seem to go the direction of the rope bridge. And the rope bridge is completely decrepit, and the only people that can go over are the kobolds that are on the other side with bows and stuff, firing arrows at the party from the darkness. And so it's always this big thing trying to get the mule.
I love the idea of an enormous creature that has such a benefit that they can't leave it behind, so then they have to find a way. Like, that is just awesome.
It's like you give them the gift, It's like the Lord of the Rings. Here's the magic ring of power. Now what? Everybody wants to get you, And
like I'm just picturing a moose that can sniff enchantments or something,
The moose that can have the moose. Well, the beauty of the mule that can sniff out treasure is that when I was running Tannisborg, it seemed like people always ended up on the 4th level, and the mule would start sniffing, and it would take them right to where the red dragon was. And so it was just every time I would run it at conventions, I'd get a TPK with the red dragon. It was hilarious.
Quick, build a donkey palanquin, Judson.
Yes, the donkey quinn.
Hey guys, it's been an awesome hour and a half, and it's time for me to sign out.
Right on, man. Thank you for being with us, Sandy.
Thanks for coming to the convention, Sandy.
I'm leaving.
Have a great night, man.
Take care.
Yeah, in retrospect, the old thing's pretty
I
fun.
mean, Sandy's been probably to 1 million conventions in like the last 50 years, you know, so he's probably like, oh, it's another convention. It was okay, you know.
But he was at VentureCon this year as well, and that's a small convention. I think we had like maybe 35 people. And that's
when I was there,
that's
it was like 25
really
people or something like
really intimate, right? But
great.
he's like he would chat everybody up. We got to play Hyperspace before it came out. I got to play in his game. I got to play in his game then, and he's so approachable. He's like willing to. My buddy Cody, I brought with me, and that was one of his first conventions. And Cody just loves Call of Cthulhu because he started playing 5th edition and then got to know me. And I started running Halloween one-shots about a decade ago, and I was like, "Oh, we're going to play Call of Cthulhu," and he's like, "This is fantastic." Right. So I gave him an old copy of Call of Cthulhu for himself, and then I was like, "Hey, you want to go to VentureCon with me?" He's like, "Yeah, that sounds fun," and I'm like, Sandy's going to be there, and he's like, "Oh, I definitely go. I'll drive." You know? Right. So I tried to get him to play in Sandy's game, but I think he was a little nervous. So he bought himself a little 6-pack of beer and just watched us play while he drank. But it was he had a good time all around, you know. And Sandy just didn't care. He's just like running his game, you know. So
right, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with the small conventions. You just get a lot more FaceTime with the people, and it's not like a big convention where somebody famous is there and they might be surrounded by 30 people. It's like you and maybe 2 or 3 other people talking to whomever you want to talk to. You can usually get a little bit of time where you can just spend some time with that person.
And it sounds like the vibe is we're all just
even when
gamers.
I went to VentureCon, like people were kind of like, "Oh, Griff's here," you know. Griff's kind of getting special in the OSR, and it's like, I'm just an old gamer. Like, I'm just a gamer. Guys. Like you guys, let's do some gaming. You know, I'll get out the miniatures. We'll do some naval war gaming on the carpet. You know,
I think I mentioned this to you, Griff. You know, ArneCon and North Texas Con have very, very similar vibes, and I hope ArneCon, you know, you guys keep doing it. And North Texas Con, I think, has done it right. They cap how many people. So I think there's like 500 badges, and then there's like maybe 100, 150 walk-ins, something like that. And it's a little busier than ArneCon, but it's not like as I was saying earlier, it's not like the what I call vendor con, where it's just nothing but vendors and people, look at my shiny rocks and like all this other stuff. It's like, oh, you're no different from this other guy over there. And it just kind of turned. I never, even when I was younger, I never was really interested in going to those places. Maybe I'm a bit of a misanthrope. I don't know. I just don't like being around too many people. But
I'm the same way. You get me in a big room with a lot of people. I go into the corner. Like we had the big. It was Thursday night. We had a big dinner with everybody there, and I kind of hid out. I let the guests and their fans interact. I was off in a corner, kind of like, okay, I'm over here. I feel safer over here, you know.
But with like these more, I hate using the word small because it makes it sound insignificant. You know what I mean? But like North Texas Con, I got to like talk to people, including like Kelsey Dion, right, who's like one of the big stars right now. But she was very approachable. Everyone was just there to game and like talk about this awesome hobby. And I think those kind of conventions are where it's at. And certainly, I know my good friend Judd Goswick, who's in chat, has mentioned like it's always a good idea to see if you can start your own little local one, you know, and just so you can find like-minded people, you know, and kind of start those like small communities.
Well, that brings me to my next question.
To come to our convention, I was like, you got to be there, man. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I'm glad he was there.
Yeah. I mean, it's so small that it's like, our attendance count is low. I need to get all my friends to come just to cover the hotel fees.
Well, so that brings me to my next question. I don't remember your
name right above me because we don't have name tags here. I put mine in the thing. But
this is Dungeoneer.
Do we have name tags there, Dunder?
You know, usually we.
By the way, you look really beautiful with blue wig.
Thank you. I'm trying to get some more subscribers. I thought I would imitate some of the more successful channels. So my next question is who?
Oh, there goes my sound again. Every time you do something with the program, my sound disappears and I have to refresh.
So when I switch it around, the sound goes. Okay, do your dip and roll. I'll see you on the other side of it, and I'll save my question until you can all hear me. Thank you guys for doing the show, by the way. I'm having a blast with y'all.
It's fun. Sandy's great. Sandy's just great to talk to. He's got the stories. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. I am not going to mess with it at all. I'm not going to touch it, Griff.
That was what was screwing me up. Every time you do something in StreamYard, I'd just be like,
That's so weird to me. StreamYard has never messed me up before. It's usually EV Mux is the one that, like, there's always one person that just can't join, and then like people freeze and stuff. But so the next question I was going to get to, based on what we've been saying, who, and I want to hear from all of you on this, who should
I'm gonna
absolutely
slap Judd around. I just looked at the chat.
Yeah.
He's like, he's new to audiovisual. Like, Judd, I was doing this stuff before you even knew what a TV set was.
Who should absolutely attend small cons like this? Publishers, celebrities, fans? Like, who needs to know about this? We'll start with Dungeoneer.
Well, selfishly, I think the right people know about it right now, and that's all I'm concerned with.
Interesting. Okay, the people that know, and let's keep it good.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, that's kind of like the reason why you kind of want to cap it, right? Like, so it doesn't become too commercialized. Because once you start having like thousands of people showing up, then you need the vendors, right? And to try to balance all the budgeting and all that stuff. I think as a guy who wants to, I love this hobby. I want to kind of leave my own little mark. I've been right here. Some of the stuff I've been doing published. Mm-hmm. I think it's great to meet other designers and writers, and just kind of swap ideas, because it's not like you can go to school for this, right? It's something you really got to like just work at and grind. And I think that's good. Making friends is good, right? And not just in a business sense, but self-fulfillment sort of sense. So I think if you're interested in the industry, going to like a small-ish con, one of these more intimate cons, is a great way to meet people, to network. And if you're interested, like I am, in like the history, or like Matthew Tapp is, definitely. I mean, his game design ethos comes straight from like Blackmoor, and that sort of primordial soup of creative energy. Yeah. I'm so impressed with that guy, by the way. I really am.
He's like the new star for the OSR.
The hobby is in good hands. Really, it is.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot too. His Discord has like over 100 people in there.
Oh, yeah.
And dungeon masters running. Like, the guy's he's putting in the reps.
He is. So like, if you're into the history, you definitely, I think ArneCon is definitely worth going to, especially now because, the clock is ticking. Not to get morbid, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I just think definitely try to go to ArneCon at least once if you can. And then North Texas Con, I think, is another good one. I've heard Dave Con's really good as well. So, that, I think that's really like who should be going. People who are like, want to contribute in some way, whether it's writing your own stuff, doing like YouTubing type things, writing magazines like Mad Scribe magazine or something, I think those are the people who really need to go, and have that kind of passion.
I mean, we want people to come and play that are just gamers, like there's no elitism here. You just come and you have fun. We're going to provide for you a really cool experience. Mm-hmm. And I talked to Chris, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have cosplay contests and stuff like that. We're not doing.
You don't want people showing up looking all weird.
Well, I show up, what can you do? But no, it's about the gaming. I think that a lot of the conventions get released. They try to do a big umbrella and they try to bring everything in. And so what you've got is a lot of different conventions. GaryCon has and GaryCon's great. Like, go to GaryCon at least once just to experience it, right? But they have like the Legends room, which is really Paul Stormberg. The two rooms. There's Legends of Role Playing and Legends of Wargaming. Mm-hmm. When I'd go to GaryCon, I would just end up in the Legends of Wargaming room with all the old wargamers, and we'd be pushing lead around on Gary Gygax's sand table. Yeah. So that's kind of that's what I like, and it was it's kind of like if you're going to throw a party, you want to impress your guests, but you're going to cook food that you like because
sure,
you're going to put out wine that you like and be like, ooh, try this. I really like it. You're going to really enjoy this, right? And for dessert, I have my favorite thing. I think you'll like it. And so the convention is kind of like that. It's like, yeah, we're using a hotel, but it's kind of like you're coming. Now it feels kind of like home when we're there, and it's like you're coming into our space, and we're like, please come in and enjoy this. And we just don't want to do too much of the glitzy stuff that is all the, I don't know, just all the hype and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're a gamer that's been around for a while, you've seen so much hype around the games, and there's always a new game that's like, this is the game you gotta have. And I got my books. I still play with my old books from nearly 50 years ago. And it's just a matter of getting together with people and enjoying that. And one of the things, I'm sorry, I'm going on a big rant and a speech, but
No, that's good, man.
it's interesting because we don't see a lot of new games. And the ones that we do see, there was a girl that showed up. I didn't meet her. Chris was telling me all about it. He was like, yeah, this girl, she's like 20 something. She shows up. She's like, I just heard about this. I got a game. I want to run it. And so we gave her a take. Like, she got her own room to run the game. And she had a bunch of people with her that wanted to try it out and play it. And so it was like, great, go in there, knock yourselves out. And then afterwards, Chris was like, it's really cool that you came here with your own personally designed game to run it. Here's a t-shirt, like, here's a t-shirt. And,
cool.
So it's not, I mean, it's just, there's not a lot of elitism there, but it's like, it's new and old, but the new is not the big corporate model new.
Right.
We don't want the big corporate stuff there.
There's places to get that.
Yeah, I mean, and we do invite, like, I would love to have Troll Lord Games come and have a presence. We had, I think it was Goodman Games was there. They had a presence.
Nice.
But they're not like mega $1 million companies like WotC or something like that that's being infused from Hasbro. They're companies that are solid companies, and they're producing good stuff for people. And I'm trying to think who else was there. I mean, we had like, the other thing we do is the independent gamer table. People just stick their stuff on this table, and it's just there. People can go in and see your book, and they'll buy it, right? And you're not going to sell 1 million copies, but I'm sure some of the indie designers were like, oh, wow, I sold 5 or 10 copies of my thing. I know Chris hit every table and bought stuff because he was just like excited to have new weird stuff that's not going to be available easily.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the encouragement that you need to keep going. Maybe you're not making millions, but like, somebody has your game, they're reading it, and they're going to play it with their friends, and it's like, that's awesome.
That is cool. Yeah.
We have a couple people that want to show off games, and we're going to have to put the kibosh on that, like the kibosh, however you say that. But they want to like run like a game every session. So they're running like 2 on Thursday or a Friday, and 3 on Saturday, and 2 on Sunday, or whatever, however it works out. And it's like, if you have a game that you made, do a really good session. Instead of a 6-person session, run 10 people in your game. But then take the time to go out and be part of this. I hate that other word, part of this family of gamers that come together and spend time with, like, check out what they're doing, so, you're contributing, and you're contributing by being there to enjoy it. Right.
It's a community. It's not a sales event.
Yeah. I hate that word community because it got so abused. It's a family.
Oh, did it?
It's
a family. All right. It's a family.
Yeah. But I'm going on a rant, but I think that's kind of what the vibe we're trying to get is just like a real I don't know. It's just so hands-on. I mean, you guys were there, right? It's just
if that's your rubric or mark of success, you've achieved it tenfold, because it was my first time going. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew you, obviously, and I knew I was going to enjoy chatting with you, and I knew Judd was going to be there. So, like, there was that, those nervousness. I'm like, well, I know there's going to be a couple people here I can talk to, right? And then I met this guy, and we hit it off, and then it's just like I made all these new friends, and that's one of the things I really like about these smaller cons, because I get to meet people, gamers, people who are as passionate about this industry and this hobby as I am, and get to swap notes with some of the people who've actually been doing it and be like, how did you do this thing so I can try it, and when I'm trying to write my thing or whatever, you know what I mean? And then, like I said, the history side of it's just like really important in terms of like identity for a quote unquote community or family, So,
yeah. Were you going to say something?
Dungeoneer?
There? Oh, no. Okay.
All right, well, I got my final.
Yeah, Dungeoneer. I forgot what are you just going by Dungeoneer?
Yep.
Okay, Dungeoneer. Dungeoneer. He's the guy that listens at the door. He's got
Yeah, I
giant
was.
ear.
In your game, I was. I was trying to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I
Take
mean,
your helmet off to listen at the door.
conventions
well,
are conventions. Just support your locals. Hopefully, your local is a good one. I'm in Denver. I don't really like our local convention, so I just don't go. So it's like it was just like, let's just do one in Minnesota. It's easier for us in a way. What was I going to say about that? It's just interesting because people come in with independent games that they made themselves, so there's new stuff there. But it's not like when I go to a big convention, it's just those. There's like big rooms with tables shoved right up next to each other, and you get that convention roar, and everybody's playing 5e, and then I don't know. I remember like my first time at GaryCon, some guy in a velvet vest or a velvet jacket put his foot on the table and started orating to the room, and then everybody was kind of like, I think we're supposed to be like that, I guess. But half of us are like really awkward, introverted gamers, and it's just like,
Yeah.
You're making me really uncomfortable with your oration. Can you stop that, please? And we do. There's a lot of like you have the war game aspect, and we bring in like Mike Carr's group. Mike couldn't make it this time, but all of his gamers showed up and they played Fight in the Skies. It was 247 Fight in the Skies in a room, so you could go in there and play Fight in the Skies, which actually had some influence on D&D too, as like mechanically.
The aerial combat rules.
Yeah, and then I actually ran the variant of Fight in the Skies. That's the draft of the D&D, Dave Arneson's D&D rules.
Cool.
For Fight in the Skies, using everybody gets like fantastical creatures over Blackmoor, and that's fun too because I'm like, okay, we got a prototype game, right? And I don't really know how this is supposed to be played. All I got is all these pieces. Here's a couple printouts you can go through. This is how I think it should be. Do these things like this because I've already set it up for that.
Best guess.
And then I'm going to get out of the way, and you guys are going to play. And when you run into a problem and you don't have a rule for it, you guys can fight it out. But I'd like it if you just maybe each side rolls a die, and it's going to be this way or that way, so you can just keep playing. And so I just kind of like I set it up. I do the lecture, song and dance, and then I just get out of the way. And there's like 8 guys, and everybody's got more than one unit, so it's just this aerial ballet dogfight with like chimeras and gargoyles and
oh man, it sounds amazing.
unicorns and things, just not unicorns but hippogriffs, just like getting wiped out and getting put on fire and like crashing into the landscape. It's really fun. Everybody has a blast, so yeah, I mean it's like that. I might do more war game stuff next year.
Well, that's my last question actually is and I want to hear from all of you. What do you want more of at next year's ArneCon? You said more war games. You said more volunteers, people that'll just help get their shoulder under the load.
We need more people who will sit behind the counter for like, just volunteer like 4 to 6 hours of
just mind the
convention to like, well, mostly so Chris can go off and play some more games. He got to play in Matt Tapp's game for like maybe an hour, and then he got a call. Something was going on at the front desk, and he's like, I gotta go. And he was off to deal with a problem, and they're not big problems, but it's like, it'd be nice to have people that have the ability to resolve simple problems.
Problem solvers. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Dungeoneer? What would you like to see more of at the next ArneCon?
More Braunsteins, I think.
Well, there were a couple.
The Canadian contingent, I can't recall their names.
Jim, and I forgot the other guy's name.
They were. I was the only player that showed up for theirs.
The Braunstein.
Yeah, that seemed like a very interesting.
It looked really good. Wesley really liked it. We're kind of like, maybe we could help them do a published version.
Tell me, so you said the Braunstein?
Braunstein is the way it was typed. Maybe it's Braunstein.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's set up in like Midwest Canada, and I don't know the history of Canada well.
Did you hear that hilarious story? Were you there when Wesley looked at it? They set it up right when the convention was starting, just on one of the tables at the front down in the atrium, and they just wanted to make sure everything was there and kind of show it off, and they were like, yeah, we want to get Wesley to see this, and I was like, oh, I'll go get him, I know where he is. So I grabbed Wesley and brought him down, and So Wesley started talking to them, and they described the scenario. And Wesley knows so much about history. Is like, oh well, General so and so should be here, and they were just like, you know about, you know
That's
about
awesome.
this, and he's like, well,
Yeah.
of course, I read the book about it, and yeah.
awesome.
So I mean, those
Yeah.
are the kind of things that happen, right? It's just like,
Yeah. I told him I'd
People
bring
have fun.
23 people next time so we can play it. We'll see if I can pull that
there
off.
we go.
Right on, man.
Do not bring 24 because then I'll hate my own convention because there'll be too many people there. But anyway,
I'll try not to.
anything else that can be done to like organize it better or make it run smoother or,
Mm-hmm. How about you, Lord Matteus? Something
Maybe-
you want to see more
do you
of
want me to
next
go around and give everybody shoulder massages while they're gaming? Like ASMR ones where I whisper in your ear. Pull the lever.
Well, that's where you want to get the cosplayers. Preferably female. But anyway,
Well, that's what Judd said. More foxy ladies.
Yeah. There were a couple there. That's what I've heard. I didn't see them. I was busy running games.
but
Well, if Dunder comes, he's got to wear the wig, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I could be a foxy Dunder.
It can be because we need Dundee D there to like be
Dundee.
the influence.
I don't feel like I
Dundee D to be
move my
live
face
streaming.
enough when I talk to be Dundee D.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's-
friends.
What's
Then this
really
thing would
weird
be
is that
like-
without the mustache, you could almost like if I just squint, I'm kind of looking and I'm seeing a Dundee
Stop
D.
squinting at me like that. I feel uncomfortable.
I'm not licking my lips.
He's
I'm
like,
just
oh
squinting.
yeah, foxy Dunder.
Oh yeah.
If I squint hard enough, the mustache disappears.
Anyway, you were gonna say, Matt, before I so rudely interrupted you.
I don't know what more I'd want to see there actually, because I got a pretty. I mean, I got what I came for, really. Like,
What did you play?
Like-
What's the sequence of events?
well, it would have been the
Seminar was where you were in the first
panel. Yeah, the
Yeah.
panel. Then Blackmoor. Then Sandy's seminar. Then Ascendant. And then before Ascendant, there was like a Chancellor was running a Red Room game. And then I played in Ascendant. And then on Sunday, it was Tannisborg and then the Braunstein.
right. Yeah.
So
And you
for
did
me,
your stacked.
yeah, I hit everything that I wanted to hit.
So,
Really,
let me ask: did you have
I-
to like book it quick? Because some of those, like Ascendant, only had like 7 seats, right? Like, were there some that filled up, or
oh, I pre-registered or whatever, so I was like in where I
you were
wanted.
just like waiting, just like refresh?
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Right on.
So I mean, for me, like, and maybe this is just my bias or whatever. When I go to ArneCon, I'm thinking in terms of I want to play like the really old stuff.
Yeah.
So like I wouldn't really change anything that you were doing. I think it's great that like people will show up with their own. Like I had this year, I haven't really run any games at any conventions other than VentureCon, mainly because it was my first time at those conventions. But like next year at North Texas Con, I'll probably run some Lamentations games or something that I've written. Right.
Yeah.
At ArneCon, I mean, I'll run a Lamentations game or one of my games, but it just doesn't feel right to put it bluntly. You know what I mean?
Well, did you
So-
have enough DMs to run everything? Did you need more, or did you think it was a good mix of games to people? Whoever wants to answer that can.
Oh, well, I just wanted to comment. Like the next time, somebody made a joke post about the carpet in the hotel because it has hexes.
Oh, like the hexes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, we should do a game for that. And I was thinking
Yeah.
about it, and I was like, what if we had everybody gets like we just clear an area in the atrium, and we got all these hexes, and everybody gets a world that's like, 3 to 7 hexes, right? And that's your space for your world, and then somehow there's like a gate that leads to other worlds. And we did a game where we've got like 10 dungeons masters and like 10 little worlds, and the players move. There's groups of players moving around to different worlds, and you can just
Or like
it's just
if you die in one, you get shunted into the other. Like that's your afterlife
Maybe.
because you have to go to the next hex over.
maybe or something, but just like, just do the most zany thing where it's like over here and you don't have to explain it. It's just this shattered world of just like different realities just crashing together.
World.
But each DM has their own little reality they make, and so you're playing, and the only thing they have to agree is that sort of has to work with your basic D&D type character, right?
Sure.
But you can take a D&D character into Traveler, like Sandy was saying. It's easy for a DM to kind of like, it's kind of like this, right? And it would be fun to do something like that, you know.
Back to the basics, playing on the carpet again.
Playing on the carpet like this, but you know, and everybody can do what they want. I mean, I might bring like a bunch of little figures and houses and stuff and be here. This is the world, you know. And you can sail off the edge, so don't go off the edge because bad things happen, or maybe you go off the edge and you just zip over to somebody else's world, you know. Cool. Anyway, I don't know. It'd be fun to do something like that, like a big collaborative game.
I think that would be cool, honestly. And I think to kind of like, again, I've been on this kick lately of, you know, the hobby was born and to be clear, the Secrets of Blackmoor really was a revelation for me. Like the primordial soup of like this creative stuff that was happening there, and all the being there at the right time, at the right place, whatever. I sort of feel like that's really where the hobby should be, and it should be understood as such. You know, I don't like, everyone talks about like the one true way, or this is the way that I really like to play. That's fine. But you know what? The hobby was actually born out of experimentation. So like seeing stuff like that at ArneCon would be cool. Like, I love that idea. And that's why, like, you talk to Matthew Tapp and like the way he's running his tables, like they'll bring in anything. It's crazy. So that's the thing I like.
Out of control. Yeah. It's great.
And that's the thing I find inspiring. And
that's very diplomatic of you, Lord Matteus. But I do want to go on the record as saying that the old ways are better. We have not perfected on what came before. It has not gone through iterations to be more valuable. It has been watered down. It has been diluted by consumerism and multiple corporations getting their money to law your hands on things that were made by gamers for gamers. And so I appreciate you guys coming on my show and being diplomatic and saying, you know, but I honestly do think that the ones that are stuck on 5e and the big stuff, you are missing out. And the stuff
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Is
that's
objectively better.
I mean, like, you know,
right and wrong. Y'all are wrong. This stuff is right. Quote Dunder on that.
Fun.
I mean, the corporate stuff is garbage. I mean, like the whole recent WotC debacle with the pastel party poster thing.
Okay, let's talk about that just for a second. Because people say, well, the art doesn't matter. It's your imagination. It can be whatever you want. But there is definitely a signaling that happens with the art of what kind of game this is. And if everybody has hair like mine and they're all smiling all the time, that is not D&D. D&D is like, your guys would rather be anywhere else but this dungeon, but they have to save the king's daughter or to get the loot that's going to say, you know, it's like the dungeon is somewhere bad and rough and dangerous that you go into to master it and bring wealth back to your people. It's not everyone smiling having a bake sale. I'm sorry.
We've lost the art's lost the sense of adventure, you know, the mystery.
The big difference is that if somebody, like some gamer had done that and been like, you know, I really want to support gay rights, I'd be like, hey, it's great that you want to support gay rights. I think it's wonderful you want other people to do that with you, okay? I'm not gonna, that's your thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's when a multi-billion corporation comes out and says, here's your pastel thing. And I've seen posts by gay people who are saying like, well, I'm not really pastel. I'm kind of badass. And I don't like when I play my D&D, we're not running around being all like weak and soft. I'm, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, like, there were some gay gamers at our convention and they did not fit the prototype of, you know, I mean, it's like people are people, and those kind of it was a stereotype and a shill. They were exploiting.
Well, I feel like it's that corporate thing of like, we already have we take our customer base for granted. We're always going to have them, and they don't have any other options. And now we're going to add another customer base on top of them that we didn't have before, and then we're going to grow our market share. And what they really do is
market one customer base to the other. And,
and then you turn off the people that were loyal, and the people that weren't going to play your game probably still aren't going to anyway. And so it's just like you just shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah,
they
well,
don't.
they've taken advantage of a trait of gamers and geek culture. They tend to be loyal to a brand, right? Like the thing that got them into it, whatever it is, whether it's anime, D&D, wargaming, whatever,
Right.
video games, they tend to be loyal because that's the thing that gives them joy, and they'll put money towards it. I know I played D&D even through 4th edition, right? And I was putting the money in. And it wasn't until 4th edition where I started looking back, and I'm like, I kind of missed BX,
Right.
But then 5th edition came out, and I gave it a shot, right? But Dunder, you put it right. They took advantage, and I think I gave up on WotC years ago. I only now use WotC as a butt of jokes on X, when I feel like I'm being funny. And that's why there's all these other wonderful games that I have been collecting over the past few years, playing. Everything from Free League to the OSR, NDC.
So we're all just going to play Universe and nothing else.
The Universe is
You're on
the
out.
one. It's Universe
It's
is
the
the
next
best game ever designed.
That's going to be the theme of ArneCon3 Universe.
Yeah, Universe. SPI Universe, because everybody loves Universe. Yeah.
I had all my 5e books stolen out of my car, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
There you go. Yeah.
You're like, that poor thief.
Well, I mean, if they gave you value for value, it'd be great. But it's just and I'm seeing a lot of. I mean, everybody's saying it. It's not just across the board. I was, believe it or not, on Blue Sky, and I saw somebody commenting about the pastel art, who you would think would not be, and they were like, I'm done with this stuff. They're just shilling my lifestyle and mixing it with my other lifestyle and convincing other people that, it's just game. Gamers like, who you want to go to the dungeon, you want to fight the monsters, you want to grab the treasure, you want to get a more powerful character, eventually you want to go out there and conquer the dragons, right? I mean,
yeah.
You
want to do something heroic and dangerous that costs you something, and then you want to, at the end of the night, you want to feel like the times that you were daring paid off, and sometimes they didn't. And if
the risk taking,
and if your character dies, it better be hilarious, right? Like if it's the kind of story that you can tell at the water cooler the next day, and everyone will laugh about it. It's like, all right, my character died, but that was worth it because that was hilarious. I drowned in the whipped cream, or
I saw that earlier today. Yeah,
that was so funny.
What was your last question? We kind of got off of it. Did we cover it?
I think we did. I said, what do you want more of at next year's ArneCon? And
oh yeah, well,
I want more Dunder viewers there. I want to be there next year.
I want Dunder Moose. You know what I would like to see is I'd like to see the Arduin guys that are doing the Kickstarter.
I hope. Yeah, that would be cool.
I'd like to see the Dave and was it George? I get named. I'm so bad with names. I never remember names. I remember faces. I want there needs to be a presence for the Arduin guys. I'd like to see somebody run some. What's the other one that was? We were talking to Sandy Petersen about it. RuneQuest. RuneQuest.
RuneQuest. Yeah.
We need somebody running at least one RuneQuest. Like I want it to be like a marathon of or not a marathon, but it's like you can go in and it's like I'm going to play OD&D with this person. I'm going to play RuneQuest with this person. I'm going to play, whatever with this person. Even if Sandy's not there, I'm going to play some Call of Cthulhu with somebody that really can do that well. And so you get this experience of every flavor of the RPG there.
Well, I was inspired by Lord Matteus talking about playing Ascendant with Macrease and saying, you know what? I thought this game was complicated. When I played it the way it was meant to be played with the creator, I saw what it was like, and it was a lot easier than I was making it out to be. Those kind of moments.
Yeah, I interviewed. I think we're gonna do the seminar again, and we'll just have the new guests do the same seminar.
Okay. Because
that was kind of an interesting idea, just creating, how do you create? I wanted it to be more like, can we create a world together? And get the 3 guests to do like a collab world creation of something with the audience and stuff. It didn't really work out like that. And then the other thing we did was the Secrets of Blackmoor Live, where I interviewed. I did an interview with Ken St. Andre. And so it's good to have those kind of really in-depth interviews, because I kind of dug down into some little details I doubt anybody has ever talked to him about. And we even talked about his game system and where his game system was coming from when he created it, which is really different from D&D. And then I had questions about why it is the way it is, because I didn't really understand it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he explained it, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of an idiot, and I must have been reading the rules, and like one sentence didn't click in my head, and I didn't understand how it worked, And so, maybe do another interview with one of the guests like that, and just keep increasing the archive of footage, So,
Right
and we'll
on.
be publishing those on our channel, The Informal Game.
Well, not to mention the Informal Game, your channel, like, I love your videos talking about, like, hey, when I'm going to make a town, here's how I do it. And then you just go to an overhead view and you just draw it up. Just get a piece, just notebook, markers. And, it's not like intimidating. You're not using like Incarnate or any like super software.
No.
It's like, this is how you do it. There it is. And it's like, that is brilliant. I can
ruled paper and some brush markers.
And it's like, I can use this tonight at my session. So you guys need to watch that channel if you haven't been, because
I just did one last night with Chris, and we just did another one. Actually, I drew a city. I talked about making your own city, and so I drew a city and talked about everything that goes into that. And Chris was watching. Every time we make them, he's like, I just was fascinated. He's like, I don't know where you got the idea to do that, but that was fascinating. And I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of, because we just wing it, right?
You're doing the thing you've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just live to tape. So it's just, okay, I've got to do something. So I'm in the hot seat,
So he just pushes play, and then you got like tonight, you just got to go.
You just go with it, and then we edit it and kind of sweeten the colors and stuff.
Well, I'm grateful for the people that have stuck through this. We still got 23 viewers. Like I lost control of this immediately. Like immediately when Sandy started talking about the velvet ants, I was like, what is going to happen tonight? I don't know. But thank you guys for being with us. If you like this kind of stuff, first of all, give us a thumbs up to encourage everyone that came on. I feel like, man, for such a small channel, I get the best guests, y'all. I can bring you some amazing people, down to earth, but still experiences nobody else has had, viewpoints nobody else has had. So if you want more of that, go ahead and subscribe to This Is Dunder Moose. And guys, let's go around real quick. Flog your stuff. What do you got going on?
Flog your stuff. That's really awkward, Dunder. I do that in
your
private. Junk. I was told to go to the garage to do that. Go flog your stuff, but not in the living room.
Not on camera.
I'll flog this one. I mean, if you're into if you want to get back to the roots, these pages in here, these are write-ups that Dave Arneson did about his Blackmoor campaign that we discovered.
You have photographs of the original documents in there.
Yeah, they're scans of Dave Arneson typed those up, and they were just game reports of the very first sessions of what would later become D&D. So you want inspiration, read those. Don't copy them. Just copy the vibe, which is like, let's just do cool stuff and see what happens.
I gotta say, so my recent video where I did the wig and the blue mustache and the garland and stuff, and I did my Ginny D parody. Whenever you post a video on YouTube, like it tells you like if you're 1 out of 10. That was 1 out of 10 for a couple days, and then it went to 2 out of 10. My best video ever is when I do a review of the Blackmoor Foundation's book. Like people love that video for whatever reason. I can't beat it, but
it's the one where you're out in the woods, though.
Out in the woods, just crunching around, eating a piece of string cheese.
People see it with the sound off, and they just assume there's banjo music there.
Yeah. Well, I was making fun of With Night Danger, who's another Canadian. And he does a lot of his videos out in the woods while he's smoking a cigar. So I got the big cheese stick, the string cheese, and I'm doing my best Canadian accent. Yeah.
I just wanted to shill the
shill. That's a better word than flog. Shill.
Yeah, let's shill. Let's
shill your junk.
The Arduin Portal to Adventure Kickstarter, which is down in the link there.
Go look at the bottom of the screen and in the description.
It's just like your box of OSR stuff. There were some people at the convention I'd like to shill for that are just indies. Like the Tecumel Foundation is still doing Empire of the Petal Throne.
Where's the best place to get a hold of that? If I wanted a hard copy of Empire of the Petal Throne, do they have a website? Or
I think they're on drive-thru. It's POD on drive-thru.
Okay.
Yeah. And they reproduced all the maps. You got to get the maps. They're really cool.
Oh yeah.
There was another guy. I don't remember everybody that was there. So it's like I can't remember everybody. But there was one guy that had. It was like the 7 Voyages of Xylartham books, And I'm gonna get a copy. Chris got a set. I want a set now. I keep hearing good things about that. It's like an OSR game. Like people are like, it's OD&D with a twist, you know.
Nice.
And so I would say check that person out. I mean, it's not about me. It's like I want to see other people's games do well too, and get your Arduin books, get your Xylarthan, smash them together, see what happens.
It's not a community; it's a family.
Yeah, it's not a community family. This one always 1973 Dungeon by Greg Svensson that was lost for 35 years. And you can get this on our website, tfott.com. Anyway,
Right on.
sorry, I'm taking up a lot of space. You guys have anything you want to shill? No?
Wretched folklore.
Yeah. So if we're a family, I guess I'm the weird cousin.
Yeah.
I like weird stuff like
I thought you said fuzzin instead of cousin, and I was like, okay, I'll go with that. So he's my weird fuzzin.
That's one of Sandy's creatures, right? The fuzzin.
Yeah.
The fuzzin.
Fuzzins.
Right. But yeah, I like stuff like Lamentations of the Flame Princess and the Red Room. This Wretched Country, or Wretched Folklore, is a supplement for their Wretched Country to make it a little bit more weird, a little bit more darker, a little bit more Weird West, Dark West. We're actually, my YouTube channel, Lord Matteus, Friday nights, I do the second watch. It's a live stream with my buddy Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're actually going to have the Red Room on with a couple people, including Judd, talking about horror games and settings and some of the stuff that the Red Room's been doing, which I absolutely love. So you should check out the Red Room. You can find my
with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're great people. They really are. You can find this on Lulu. You can find the Red Room stuff on Lulu. You're not going to find it on Drive-Thru for reasons I can't get into. But,
Man, that all rhymed. Are you like Dr. Seuss tonight?
A twisted, weird, dark version.
He's my distant fuzzin.
My distant fuzzin. But anyway, thanks for having me on tonight, man.
You got it, man. I got a couple of super chats. First of all, my ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. Thank you for the support at $1 due from Australia. And then John McGowan, $10, very late, but we'll be catching up with us at work tomorrow. Right on, bro. Thanks for the support.
Thanks for stopping in.
He's got a good book too, on the Living Campaign by John McGowan.
Great book. Great book.
There's the 7 Voyages of Xylarthan. Oak Spalding, that's the guy.
Oh, okay.
He rode the train to go to ArneCon, I think. Or no, he rode a bus. He took the bus.
There you go.
To
Living Campaign.
ArneCon.
He's at VentureCon, I think, the past 3 years. He's a good dude.
Yeah. The family. The gamer family.
That will be a dead sexy stream if it has that guy. All right. And yes, John McGowan says, there it is. Spotted in the wild. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like it's been a great episode. I had a lot of fun hanging with y'all. And we will see the rest of you guys on the next This is Dunder Moose.
Peace.